Whatever you're expecting this video to be, this is not going to be that.
You are a divine being. You matter. You count. You come from realms of unimaginable power and light, and you will return to those realms.
Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisol and I'm coming at you with a new series on this channel introducing Sunday Soul. My BFF, Sabrina, she suggested this series to me. Every Sunday I sit down with a beverage and I just talk about whatever I want, and I really think that's a good idea. This Sunday we have tea because that is what we are going to spill today. Who knows, next Sunday I might want to do a different beverage. I thought this was just a really good chance to just chat with you every single Sunday, and I just thought it was a really good idea. I'm always telling Sabrina that somebody needs to pay this woman to think. I'm going to link Sabrina's Instagram in the description below. Guys, she's gonna be coming back to the internet, and when she does, you need to be there. When you're watching this, it's gonna be a beautiful Sunday morning. I just want you to have something to go to every single Sunday that will help you escape. These videos are like an escape for me. I want to create a community where we can all escape to my videos together. That was the dumbest thing I've ever said. I'm embarrassed. What I want to do to start off the series is to talk about a insane dating experience I had. This story is something I always thought I would tell eventually. Sabrina just texted me back. She said that she thinks that me telling this story is going to be a great way to start the series, and I agree with her. I'm just so nervous because I don't know how these storytellers do this. It's closest to the craziest thing. It's probably like the second craziest thing that's ever happened to me, and I've learned so much from it. I know that I'm not going to hear or see from the people involved in this story ever again, so I feel good telling my side of it, but I don't just want to tell you all the tea and all the drama. I want to talk about what I learned. So this story starts with me becoming best friends with a guy that I worked with. We got really close. I kind of put people that I love on a pedestal. I idealize them, and in my head I kind of make them into somebody that they're not. He had a girlfriend that he was with for years, and I completely respected his relationship. We just worked together. We were just really good friends, and then one night we were just friends, but then we were hanging out at night. This is not adding up, Marisol. I was hanging out with a guy who had a long-term girlfriend at night alone. Probably wasn't one of the best decisions I've ever made. We were talking for hours and we just connected very well, and he was helping me through so much because I was going through such a difficult time. He told me that he thinks that we've crossed over into something more than friends. He asked me if he was crazy to ever brought it up, and I told him that he wasn't crazy. I told him that maybe I liked him too. Why? Why? I'm just gonna drink my tea. He helped me so much. He was really there for me. I was going through a lot. I'm like trying to justify it. Yeah, I told the guy who has a girlfriend that I liked him back because he was there for me. This is your Sunday morning. Happy Sunday. Didn't really know how I felt, but I knew that I loved him very much. And to be completely honest, I did feel like a little bit of a twinkle. Like, oh, well, he's a nice guy. Why not? Do what? He has a girlfriend. I'm thinking that maybe I kind of do like him, and he mentions the fact that him and his girlfriend has been talking about adding a third person to their relationship. This is also known as polyamory. This kind of triad dating situation, it's very tricky, okay? This is something that I didn't really have much knowledge on at the time. It's something that I knew about. It's something that I've considered, but it's not anything I've had the opportunity to try. We decided that we wanted to investigate this little twinkle between us, and I was worried that it would mess with our friendship, but he assured me that we were just trying something out and we were always gonna be good friends, and I believed him when he said that. Boy, was I wrong! We will get to that. Sipping tea. So I do start hanging out with his long-term girlfriend, and we flirt, and I get to know her, and I start hanging out with both of them, and I grow to really care about these two people. It was kind of nice to have, two people that really cared about me, and I could see why a situation like that would be attractive or fulfilling in some way. As me and the guy crossed over from friend territory and grew a little closer, I discovered some stuff about him that I wasn't completely fond of, and I didn't think would make a suitable partner, to be completely honest. He had a very harsh temper. His anger and just his overall attitude about life, it was a complete turn off. He was still my friend though, and even though it was just a few weeks into trying this thing out, I already knew that I didn't want to be a part of this, but I still really wanted to be his friend. We were so close, and I was just hoping it wasn't too late, but it was. I honestly thought our friendship could still continue, even though it could probably never be the same as it was before. His girlfriend and I also got really close. I started developing some actual feelings for her. I was honest, and I told him that I was having some doubts, and I thought that maybe I couldn't go through with this, and he was just heartbroken over the thought of me backing out. He told me that we were just gonna give it a try. He made it seem like it wasn't a big deal, but clearly it was. He developed actual feelings for me. Like, this isn't unreasonable for him to be upset about me backing out. It was completely reasonable for him to be upset about it, but I think it was also reasonable for me to want to back out. I wasn't really sure from the beginning, but I cared about him, and I loved him so much as a person. I thought that I could be attracted to him and want more, but I investigated. I decided that I just wasn't into it. A triad, it takes specific people who all really want to make it work with each other for it to be successful, and I didn't want to make it work. And if it meant that I would have to end things with his girlfriend too, so be it. I was willing to end things with her as well. I didn't ever think that he would want me and her to continue without him. I would have never expected, nor was I even prepared for, what happened next. He was so angry at me. We argued for what felt like hours over my decision. I explained to him in every possible way that I didn't want to continue with this, but I still really cared about him. I still really wanted to be friends. I just didn't want to be more than friends. He argued every way he could. He kept telling me, what if you're wrong? Like, what is that? Then he kept on saying, so what? I don't get a say? And I'm like, no, you don't get a say in that. This is my choice whether I want to be a part of this. No, you don't get a say in that. He threw his water bottle, and I told him, you either need to chill or you need to leave. Rejection is horrible, but I don't think that's okay. Like, that reaction isn't okay. We're just silent, sitting in the car, and he kept on looking over to me and looking back, just so disappointed, so upset, and I felt horrible. I never wanted to hurt him this way. I completely regretted ever making the decision to continue with something that I wasn't even completely sure about and hurting somebody that I cared for. Opened the car door, he sat there for a while, looking at the car door, then looking back at me, looking at the car door, and looking back at me, and then he finally left. I felt so bad that I hurt my friend, and I felt even worse because I was thinking I was gonna have to end things with his girlfriend too. But we'll get to that in a minute because we're not done with the boyfriend yet. It's the next day, I'm going into work. I know that I'm gonna be seeing him, and I'm nervous because our conversation was really heavy, and I I thought he was not gonna speak to me, but when I came in and saw him, he looked oddly chipper. So I casually asked him, what's up? I'm gonna pour me some more tea before I get into this bit because, honey, it's a lot and I need some tea in my cup to spill. I asked him if he was okay and he was like, oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. I think there was a misunderstanding. I spent hours in the car with you arguing over this. I don't think there was any misunderstanding. Like, oh, it was a misunderstanding because we don't have to be in a relationship. We could just be friends with benefits.
What the fuck?
What? I didn't just say no to a relationship. When we sat in that car together for what felt like hours, I was saying no to everything. I was saying I just wanted to be friends. I didn't say I don't want to be in a relationship. I said I just want to be friends. You like I don't like how can you make, how is that not clear? How is that a misunderstanding? Honey, that's not a misunderstanding. That's called denial. I felt my heart racing because I had such a hard time telling him this the day before, and now I'm gonna have to explain it to him all over again. So I did, and he gave me the exact same reaction, asking me what if I'm wrong. I don't get a say. This is the last and final time that we argue about it. I think he's got it pretty clear. He's pretty devastated, pretty upset with me. I'm not even sure if we're gonna be friends at this point. And that's just the boyfriend. We haven't even gotten into his girlfriend and our relationship. Oh my god. Me and his girlfriend really liked each other. We hit it off, we connected in a way. I still think that she may have been a soulmate. I think that we all had a soul contract. I think that we all came into each other's lives to contribute to each other's growth. Me and her also had to have a break it off moment talk. At least I thought that's what that was gonna be, because I told her that I didn't want to continue things with her boyfriend anymore, and I thought that meant that me and her were gonna have to break up. She told me that she would be fine if we would continue things without her boyfriend, so we would have completely separate relationships, and I thought that was impossible. Like, he would never agree to that. He would have to agree to something like that based on his reaction to my rejection alone. I didn't think that he would ever be okay with something like that. To my surprise, he said that he would rather us be together than feel guilty of us not continuing because of him. I wasn't sure how I felt. Like, I was silly enough to think that maybe something like this could work, but this was doomed for the start. We had another big talk about it. I did a bunch of research on co-partners and polyamory and having two different separate relationships, and obviously he was the core partner and I was the other one. I was the second partner. Came up with some boundaries and we agreed that both relationships would be separate. How the hell am I holding this tea now? This is not the way. Looking back, that was definitely not the wisest decision I have ever made. I now know at this point in time that he only agreed to a relationship between me and her because he thought that somewhere down the line I would change my mind about not wanting to be with him, and it would be already very convenient for him to join her and I's relationship because he was already a part of the equation somehow. But when he realized that I had no desire to be with him, and I probably would never have a desire to be with him, that he had no choice, and that it was a true rejection, and he saw that his girlfriend was leaving with me twice a week, he started getting bitter. He was getting really possessive over her. He would get really upset every time she would leave. Him and I just weren't friends anymore, and me and her were dating, and him and I weren't talking. If one of the partners are not okay with the relationship is going to fail. I tried to power through even though he wasn't supporting us. 6 months have passed and nothing was changed. If anything, it was getting progressively worse to the point where he said that he would not be happy unless I was out of the picture. Once she told me that, I knew that I couldn't be in this situation anymore, and she would have to choose me or him. And I knew that it wasn't going to be me because I wasn't with her for many years. I wasn't living with her. Obviously, it wasn't going to be me. We ended up breaking up, and I was okay with that. I'm going to say this now, probably really too late for a disclaimer. I am not upset with these people. I still care about these people. I hope they're doing well. I hope that they are both happy. I tried to get her out of that relationship, and that was messed up on my part. Not only did I reject him and take his girlfriend twice a week, but now I'm trying to get her to leave him. Like, I really did think I was justified at that moment because I really cared for her. I knew that he wasn't being the best boyfriend. Like, that's really messed up to say, but I'm saying it. I saw a future with this person and I wanted to give it a shot, but when I made her choose, she said, "What, am I just gonna live with you in your car?" Obviously, she chose the person that she was living with and was with for years. I was already kind of emotionally checked out of the relationship. Me and her were having our own problems. Even if we did run away together, there was a really good chance that it would not have worked out because we were two very different people. We clashed on a lot of things that were pretty fundamental to me. So, what did I learn out of all of this mess? First, I learned that kind of triad situation takes people who really care about each other and really all want to make it work, whether they're all involved or it's just separate relationships. It really takes people who want to make it work, and they have to support one another. And this did not work because we did not support one another. It wasn't just that he wanted me gone. I wanted him gone too. I wanted him out of the picture too because I didn't like how I was being treated. I didn't like how she was being treated. It was the reason why I didn't want to continue things with him anymore. After her and I broke up, I decided to take a break from relationships. I've been celibate for almost a year now. I have been out of relationships for quite a while. I dabbled here and there, but what I've learned about myself in that time is that I didn't have a whole lot of respect for myself. I put myself in situations that I didn't feel comfortable in, that I wasn't sure about because I was trying to be a people pleaser, because I cared more about their feelings than I did about my own. There were red flags all over the place. There were so many reasons not to continue. There were so many times where I didn't want to continue, but I felt obligated in some way to continue. I really should have put myself first in that situation. I went in with the best intentions, thinking that maybe I was falling for somebody that I really cared about, and it just turned out to not be that. And instead of just turning around when I could have, I continued with something that I wasn't 100% sure of. Taking a break from dating really gave me the opportunity to figure out my boundaries and figure out what it is that I want in a relationship. If I sense something that I'm not comfortable with or I see a red flag, I walk away. And some people might be afraid that their standards might be a little too high, but I don't think that's true at all. Go with what's absolutely best for you. And if you don't think that something's right for you, don't do it. Don't feel obligated. Don't be a people pleaser. Just do what feels good to you. And that situation from the very beginning did not feel good to me, but I still went ahead with it. And if you're considering getting into a polyamorous triad type relationship, don't consider this a horror story from that type of experience. Just consider this education. Everybody that's involved has to be supportive of one another. And I'm going to leave you with something that my mom has told me my entire life, but unfortunately forgot during this whole fiasco. Love yourself enough to know when enough is enough. I had some things to learn, and I learned them the hard way, and I went through all that drama, and I came out a much better person. Tell me down in the comments below your craziest dating story, and if you've experienced anything similar, or what you think about my experience, or what do you know about polyamory. Tell me, let's have a conversation. I hope you enjoyed this first ever Sunday Soul, and I really hope that you come to the next one. And yeah, peace out.